Do people actually move to Iowa? Well, I think so. Let's talk about why. More people are moving to Iowa now more than any other time I've ever been here. And it's really started out because of the big C word, COVID.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, a lot of people started moving to Iowa once COVID hit, and there's multiple reasons for that happening. One of the main reasons I've seen people want to move to Iowa is because it's not as crowded. Once COVID happened, a lot of people were living in these big cities, feeling all congested, and just wanted to get away from people. One, because the closer you are to a lot of people, the more likely you're gonna get COVID. And two, they just didn't want to live on top of each other anymore. And Iowa offers that in a great abundance. Even our cities aren't really that big. You look at, say, Des Moines, I believe they're only like at 500,000 people, and they're the largest city in Iowa. We got Des Moines, we have Cedar Rapids, Council Bluffs, where I'm at, Davenport, but really, there's not a lot more that goes on there. So we have cities, but even those cities aren't that congested. And then a lot of people even want to get out of cities of that size, and that Iowa has a ton of. We have so many small towns, you can't even hardly count them. Trust me, I've tried. But a lot of people are wanting to get into these small towns, get away from the people, and they can still work remotely and living away from a lot of people. So a lot of people moved here during the COVID time period and are still continuing to move here after COVID because they didn't want to feel congested like they did before this happened. COVID really opened that up to a lot of people. Because of this channel, I've had the opportunity to work with a ton of people moving to Iowa. As much as I love making these videos, I love helping people move here, as I am a licensed realtor here in Iowa. So if you have any questions about making that move to Iowa, well, my number's popping up down below. I am the one that answers those phone calls, texts, emails, so shoot me something over and I will help you out as best as I can. But another thing that comes up with people that are moving here, and I hear this time and time again, the number one reason people move here is really that low cost of living. Yes, it's true. Iowa has one of the lowest costs of living, and a lot of people are still working remotely, so they're still having those high-paying jobs, moving to Iowa and having that low cost of living. For example, what is low cost of living? Well, just the other day, I got a gallon of gas for $3.30, which isn't too bad compared to the national average. Or if you compare it to, say, California, where they have those skyrocketing gas prices. So we get a lot of people moving here from California, and that's one of the major factors is, say, gas prices. But another major factor, and I can't go without saying this because I am in real estate, is the housing costs here in Iowa. On average, it's actually about 27% below the national average to get a home here. The average home price in Iowa is sitting about $170,000, where the average income in Iowa is sitting at about $70,000. So that's pretty close together. So the affordability here in Iowa is super, super great for people that want to work here. And like I said, all these people that moved here from COVID happening, they're still keeping those high-paying jobs that are elsewhere, but working remotely right here in Iowa. So a lot of people made that move because of this reason and this reason alone. But that isn't what it's like for everybody. Other people just love the people. Have you ever heard of the word Iowa nice? Well, if you have, you know what it means. If you haven't, basically it means that the people of Iowa are super, super friendly. I was talking to a couple the other day. They had just moved here from Oregon, and they'd heard, Iowa nice, but they didn't really understand what that actually meant. When they moved in, their neighbors actually brought them a plate of cookies, just like you would think a small town. But this is actually the Quad Cities, Davenport. It's actually a city. It happens. And they were completely shocked by this, happening because they don't expect that everywhere else they go. But a lot of people love that about Iowa, and just that Midwest value system that Iowa brings to the table. A lot of people are looking for that now in this day and age where it seems to be missing all the time. I am getting ate up by gnats right now. Just for you guys. I have to go get some bug spray here soon. Now, would you believe this or not, but Iowa has more jobs than just agriculture. Yes, that is our #1 economic driver, but we have other jobs as well. Just here in Davenport, the last year or so, Amazon is moving in. They're going to be opening up in August. They're bringing in 1,000 different people to come work here. So that's coming in. In Des Moines, there's Facebook, there's Microsoft, Amazon's there as well. Council Bluffs, they have Google. So they have a lot of these big Silicon Valley jobs, just like everywhere else. And a lot of these corporations are moving here because of the same reasons that people are moving here, and that's at low cost. To build a factory or build a warehouse or build servers, it is cheaper because everything around here is a little bit cheaper to get and produce. So a lot of these corporations are moving here because of that, and that follows along with the jobs that are coming. And Des Moines itself is not very agricultural at all, actually. It's actually known as the insurance capital of the nation. And I can speak to this because I actually worked for one of these companies. I was a data scientist for them. We would gather all the numbers, try to predict what was going on there with the call center that they had, and it's just a big deal in Des Moines, all these insurance type jobs, and a lot of people are moving there because of these jobs as well. So people are definitely moving, and they don't have to be a farmer if they're going to be moving to Iowa. The other thing that we're seeing draw people to the state of Iowa is the university systems that we have. We have really 4 major ones. That's Iowa State, Go State, that's my alma mater. We have Iowa, Okay, I'm just kidding. I like Iowa too. We have UNI, University of Northern Iowa, and we have Drake. A lot of people are moving here because the great education that they provide and at a value that most people can actually afford. If you move in-state, the value is even better because you get in-state tuition. But I remember when I was going to college there at Iowa State, a lot of people were coming from Illinois because it was cheaper to pay out-of-state tuition for Iowa State than it was to pay in-state tuition in Illinois. So a lot of people are moving over because of the universities and staying here because they just love it. And each university really has their own specialty. Iowa State is really known for their engineering, and that's what I went to school for, is mechanical engineering. And then Iowa is world renowned for their medical over there. They have great hospital systems there, and people travel all over the nation to come to Iowa University for the medical facilities that are there. UNI is really known for its teaching program. A lot of great teachers come out of there, and it's just a great program for that. And then Drake is known for its business. So in Iowa, we basically have 4 major universities that cover a good majority of your educational purposes. So a lot of people are drawn to the state of Iowa because of those universities, and they stick around because the way of life here is actually pretty awesome. Now, like I touched on in the universities, Iowa has a great healthcare system, and a good majority of that is because of Iowa University. They said people travel all over the nation to come to the Iowa hospital system, but that actually goes beyond just the healthcare at Iowa University. It also includes the VA system. Now, I didn't know this. I figured the VA system was pretty standard across the board, all the states, but I actually talked to a director just the other day, and she said that she's worked in multiple states, and Iowa has one of the best VA systems for people here in Iowa. Now, again, I didn't know this, but it's a big draw for a lot of veterans, and right next to the director was a veteran, and he said, absolutely. I was living in Nevada at the time, but now he's moved to Iowa, and the VA system is helping him a lot more here than it was in those other places. Now, a lot of people talk about this, but it's a little bit nuanced, and people are moving to Iowa because it actually is very beautiful. You can see behind me, this is Westlake, great little lake here in eastern Iowa, but overall, the state of Iowa is really beautiful and relaxing to be in. It's not all just cornfields. Yes, we don't have the mountains. Yes, we don't have the beaches, unless you include this beach right behind me, which isn't really much of a beach, by the way. But we just have beautiful landscape. In the west end of Iowa, we have the Luss Hills, and those are beautiful hills that only found in 2 different places, and that's western Iowa and China. So a lot of people love moving into that area. But also, if you look at northeast Iowa, there's big bluffs that overlook the Mississippi. We have the Mississippi, which is really beautiful, depending on where you go. We have the Missouri, which is also super beautiful. So a lot of people move here for other reasons, but stay because they love the beauty of Iowa. And even the cornfields and the soybean fields can be really beautiful if you just slow down, take your time, and check it out. Now, like I said, as much as I love making these videos, I also love helping you make the decision on where you want to be when you're moving here to Iowa. So if you have any questions, give me a call, send me a text or an email. I'm the one that's answered that. But if you want to know more about what Iowa is like to live in, well, check out this video here because I do cover that in a lot more detail.